president was directly involved in a hush money scheme that sought to keep stories about his alleged affairs quiet ahead of the 2016 election. The documents were part of an investigation into campaign finance violation by President Trump's team that landed his former attorney, Michael Cohen, in jail. Well, a federal judge released the unredacted pages after prosecutors announced they were ending their probe. CBS News White House correspondent Paula Reed is in Washington with the details.
Are you relieved the New York investigation is resolved? CBS News has learned the Justice Department is not expected to file additional charges in an investigation into hush money paid to the president's alleged mistresses during the final days of the 2016 election. But court documents unsealed today reveal how extensive the president's involvement in the payments may have been.
And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Whatever you want.
The day after the release of the infamous Access Hollywood tape, Mr. Trump got on a call with his personal fixer Michael Cohen and campaign spokesperson Hope Hicks. Prosecutors believe the call was to discuss quashing reports of an affair between Trump and adult film star Stormy Daniels, as he was under fire for his treatment of women. On the days before and after Cohen made a payment of $130,000 to Daniels, he spoke to the president 3 times. Prosecutors say the two men usually spoke about once a month.
He asked me to pay off an adult film star with whom he had an affair and to lie about it to his wife, which I did.
Cohen was ultimately repaid in part by the Trump Organization. The president initially denied knowing about the money.
Did you know about the $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels?
No.
And in House testimony last month, Hope Hicks testified that she was never present for discussions of payments to Daniels. Cohen is currently serving 3 years in federal prison, in part for campaign finance violations related to these payments. Today, he released a statement saying the exoneration of the Trump Organization's role should be of great concern to the American people and investigated by Congress. Several top officials who were involved in facilitating these hush money payments received immunity from prosecution. And now Congress may investigate why more people weren't charged in this case. Reena?
Paula, thank you very much. Well, convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein will remain behind bars as he awaits trial in a sex trafficking case. The disgraced financier is fighting charges that he abused dozens of underage girls in Florida and New York. On Thursday, a federal judge in New York denied a bail request made by Epstein's lawyers. The decision comes after 2 of Epstein's alleged victims urged the judge not to release him when they spoke at a bail hearing on Monday. Mola Lenghi has more.
Calling him a threat to the public, Judge Richard Berman ordered Jeffrey Epstein, accused of sex trafficking young girls, held in jail until trial. Berman said part of the reason he denied bail was the testimony of 2 women who said Epstein abused them and would be afraid if he were released. One is Courtney Wild, who says Epstein abused her in Florida when she was 14 years old.
If you are a victim of Jeffrey Epstein, then you know what I know. He will never stop sexually abusing children until he is in jail.
Prosecutors argued if granted bail, the 66-year-old was a significant flight risk, pointing to what they found in a safe in his Manhattan townhouse: $70,000 in cash, dozens of diamonds, and a fake foreign passport that had expired. An attorney representing several of Epstein's accusers in a civil case said they're pleased that Epstein will remain behind bars.
The first reaction was relief and a sense that maybe there was some justice here at last.
Epstein, seen in this 1992 NBC video partying with a young Donald Trump, once called the world's rich and powerful his friends. Many, including Mr. Trump, have now distanced themselves from the multimillionaire.
Epstein is being held here at the federal jail in Manhattan. Now, while a court date has not yet been set, Reena, if convicted, he faces up to 45 years in prison.
Mola Lenghi, thank you, Mola. Well, Vinoo is a criminal defense attorney, and he joins me now to discuss both of these cases. So I want to talk about Epstein first. So the judge offered this really hefty bail package. I'm looking at this house arrest, ankle monitor, grounding his private plane, and even extradition from other countries. Why do you think it was that wasn't enough for the judge?
Because it's Jeffrey Epstein. I think this is a case that this judge did not want to be known in the press as a judge who allowed Jeffrey Epstein to remain at liberty. The defense package was intense. The amount of things they put up, and ultimately the judge decided that he was a danger to the community. But these are allegations that go back to 2005. these are allegations that between 2002 to 2005, they haven't put forth criminal activity since that point. So the question of him being a danger to the community, I think, is a stretch. But again, he's Jeffrey Epstein. He wasn't going to go free, and I think he's going to let an appellate court make that call. So the denial of bail, is there anything that you can read into that based on the strength of the prosecution's case? No, I mean, look, the factors, the statute that he's charged with, under the law, as Congress has designated it, says that somebody charged with this, there's a presumption that they should probably be remanded. So the government, the defense then has to fight that presumption, even though the government still has what's called a burden of persuasion. You know, it was back and forth. I'm not saying it was an easy call either way, but there was enough there that the defense put forth that I thought was an impressive package. But I think this judge is going to allow the Second Circuit, the appellate court overlooking New York, to make that call. Now I want to turn to those unsealed documents that look into how the president, then candidate Trump, was aware of these illegal hush money payments, that he was on the phone. The fact that we have this evidence, if he was not president, do you think he would have been indicted? Yes. I mean, I think it's clear. I mean, in Michael Cohen's the information put forth, it labeled him, right, individual number one, as directing this. And now you have evidence that Donald Trump, then candidate Trump, was involved in these calls, and Hope Hicks as well. But, DOJ policy as interpreted by both Robert Mueller and William Barr say you can't indict a sitting president. Mm-hmm. So the issue, though, I think the more interesting thing is what influence did William Barr have on this decision? Mm-hmm. The decision to end this investigation, not go forward against other people, maybe not even go forward against Hope Hicks. You mentioned Hope Hicks. Why is it that Michael Cohen is really the only person facing jail time right now? Look, he's the one who took the fall, right? He was the one, obviously, coordinating this, and he was a quarterback. The individual at the National Enquirer also got a non-prosecution agreement, for cooperating. So, he's a lawyer. I mean, his actions, rise above that of a normal individual. When a lawyer's involved in criminality, that it's appropriate that he gets punished. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean that other people shouldn't be punished. So, do you think that Hope Hicks could potentially serve jail time? Do you see that happening? Well, it's from today. It looks like the Southern District's investigation is over, but now you have her testimony before Congress, and it appears now that she may have misled Congress last month, and that now you could end up getting now the D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office investigating her potentially lying to Congress. Do you see that happening? Possibly. I'd say it's a potential outcome. But then again, William Barr is overseeing the DOJ. Mm-hmm. So what influence did William Barr have on the decision to end the investigation and not proceed, in the Southern District against Hope Hicks? Vinoo Varghese, thank you very much for joining us, Vinoo.